This course will introduce you to ideas about the world. You will uncover knowledge about real-world issues such as climate change, COVID-19, and social justice, among many others. You will be able to analyse these ideas in terms of their significance, but we need to go further and deepen our thinking, and to do this, we're going to use a process called systems thinking. Try to imagine the world as a web, and within those webs are even more webs. They're all interconnected and related to each other. Along each strand of each web, there is an issue or idea which has a relationship to another issue or idea on the next strand and then the next. We could describe this as a synthesis of ideas, or a structure. When all of these ideas and issues combine, we have what we can call a system. So instead of simply analysing an idea like climate change in isolation, a systems thinker would consider it just one part of a larger interconnected system. So you could view this type of system as having climate change at its centre, the spider or the prey. With concepts such as CO2 emissions, overconsumption, dairy farming, fast fashion, national government priorities, economics, etc., along each strand of the web. Now this web would be interconnected with another, so the strand that references economies would be interconnected with another web that would show taxation, GDP, and political parties, etc. And what you'll see is that a systems thinker does not see ideas or issues as silos or as isolated concepts. They come at problem solving with an understanding that the world is interconnected. When we have our webs constructed, we can start to understand them, identify any gaps or areas which are unsustainable and liable to break. We can then move forward and ask targeted questions to try to understand how we can rebuild, or if we need to reconfigure or alter the system itself. Systems can be tricky to alter. This is because if you remove one issue or idea, there will be a knock-on effect to another. Systems thinking is about creating a balance in order for the system to work as a whole rather than separate parts. Think of the human body. The body is made up of 78 organs. Every organ provides its own function for human performance. There are cells, blood, hair, veins, etc. On their own, they're not that useful, unless they're being transplanted where they're needed. But together they work and allow human beings to survive. So if we go back to the visualization of the web, the body would be the spider or prey in the center of the system, and the strands of the web would be all of the component parts of the human body. If you were to disrupt this system and remove the gallbladder, for example, the system or human body would not collapse and be destroyed, but there may be a knock-on effect on the human body developing jaundice, which could result in the yellowing of the skin. But if the human body experienced a decrease in the function of the heart, this would impact the body tissues, which would be deficient in blood and oxygen, which could then result in blood backing up, increasing pressure in the blood vessels and forcing fluid into body tissues, which could then result in heart failure. And without intervention, the system in this human body would collapse. If you were looking at the system of the human body to try and improve the function of the heart, you might look at a second interconnected web that was related to diet, or another that's related to exercise or stress reduction. What you need to understand is that knowing lots of facts about something, say the human body, is great, but knowledge alone is not enough to solve problems. This is where systems thinking comes in. Anything that you can possibly think of is a component part of a larger system. You are part of a system. Where you live, where you're educated, your family, your hobbies, these are all systems within systems. When we are trying to develop our systems thinking skills, it's a good idea to think of ourselves taking a massive step back to try and get a bigger picture view of an issue. In this course, you will consider many real-world issues. They're all connected. As you go through this course, try to keep thinking in these terms because everything has a cause and an effect. COVID-19, inequality and climate change are all interlinked within and through systems. When we start to understand the system, we can identify what makes it work and what makes it unsustainable. Thinking in these terms will help you with the final assignment in this course, which asks you to think about ways to build the world back better or even differently. You will only be able to do this effectively if you are thinking in terms of systems. Try constructing your own system for any topic you want. Yourself, all the water on planet Earth, a house build, a post office, a school, a Netflix film, or your mobile phone. When you think about ideas, objects, issues, or concepts as a cog in a machine, you will begin to realize how everything in the world connects.